Steph Curry is one of the greatest players the NBA has ever seen. With one Finals MVP, 2 regular season MVPs, and 4 championships, number 30 has reached a stratosphere that's reserved only for players who are legends among legends. Kobe, Shaq, Bird, Magic. Whether you want to believe it or not, Steph Curry is in the same realms as those legendary players who completely dominated their eras, and with his marksmanship, he's forever stamped his name into the NBA history books.
Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot!
The man who's known as the baby-faced assassin single-handedly speared the three-point revolution and changed basketball forever. Standing at just 6'3" with a 190-pound frame and being in his mid-30s, however, he doesn't exactly look too frightening or intimidating in a league where the average player is 4 inches taller, 30 pounds heavier, and 10 years younger. Too old, too small, too weak are perhaps some of the sentiments other players have towards Steph, which is why time and time again, they still decide to poke the bear. But on December 19th of 2023, Steph, the Chef Curry, showed the entire world why it's still a bad idea to trash talk him.
With 4, draws the foul and scores and says he's too little.
Jaylen Brown is a star among stars. He made the All-NBA second team in 2023, he just signed the richest deal in NBA history, and as of today, he's one of the leaders on the team with the best regular season record.
Then meeting in DC. Jaylen Brown.
He may be notoriously known as a player who can't really go left, but standing at 6'6" and weighing 225 pounds of pure muscle, make no mistake about it, he's a freight train, a beast, and one of the best two-way players in the league today. In December of 2023, however, in a matchup against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, he made a mistake that he'll remember for the rest of his life. I don't know why he chose to do what he did. It might be because of his rising superstar status. It might be because he recently watched SGA post that Instagram reel of him cooking Steph, or it might have just been the heat of the moment. But regardless of the reason, he was about to learn Newton's third law, which states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. But anyway, to get the full context of everything that transpired, let me rewind to the beginning of all this. To start off the game between the Celtics and the Warriors, Steph Curry wasn't having his best game. In fact, he was missing shots he would normally make in his sleep, he was turning the ball over like it was a hot potato, he was getting blocked by Derek White, and he was committing fouls left, right, and center. He looked frustrated, and by halftime, the two-time MVP had just 10 meager points, which by his standards was a disaster. The third quarter wasn't exactly kind to him either. He started it off with a mid-range jumper that clanked off the rim, then followed that up with a three-point shot that only hit front iron before falling into his own bench as the Celtics went and got an easy bucket in transition. Then, not too long after that, he picked up his 4th foul on a drive by Brown.
And the foul. 4 on Stephen Curry.
Steph couldn't believe it. And Jaylen? Well, he probably thought he was him at that point, because just a few minutes later, he would do the unthinkable.
Again, hunting Curry, playing with 4, draws the foul and scores and says he's too little.
The facial expression there on Jaylen Brown tells me one important piece of information, and that's, the man had no idea what he just did. In his mind, Jaylen just put the Celtics up 12, he just gave Curry his 5th foul, and as far as he was concerned, this was his time. He was him, and no 6'3" guard was going to stop him. Not if it was Steph Curry, as he ended the play by insulting Curry, calling him too small. Yikes, guys. There was a break from the game after that with a kids' skills challenge, but all 18,064 fans in a sold-out Chase Arena knew what just happened. Jaylen Brown had just poked the bear. Jaylen Brown had just insulted Steph, and the game within the game was about to begin. With 5 fouls and 6 minutes left to go in the third, however, the Warriors head coach had no choice but to pull Curry out of the game. But it wasn't long until he came back.
How long do you wait to bring Steph back in?
Maybe not long. In fact, probably not long.
Steph couldn't wait to get back on the court as he actually started the fourth quarter and knocked down his first shot. The true fireworks haven't quite started yet though, as Brown was still sitting on the bench resting. He would enter the game during a pair of Tatum free throws at about the 7-minute mark, and from here on out, because he poked the bear, he would show the world that it's still a bad idea to trash talk Steph Curry because the rest of the game, the chef was going to cook. First, he flew by Tatum, and then he did it again, and then he danced and connected with Klay. What was once a 17-point lead had now become a 4-point game after that shot. And as for Jaylen Brown, well, he was starting to feel the pressure. I wonder if he knew at this moment that he had made a grave error. Because not only was Steph Curry cooking, but he looked like he was just getting started. I mean, look at this play, where he first drove the ball under the rim near Jaylen and got him out of position, dishing it to CP3, who just blew by Mr. Brown. On the play after that, Jaylen decided to go at Curry, who reminded the NBA world of their game plan during the 2022 finals, which was make Brown go left. And lo and behold, as Brown went left, he committed the offensive foul. Joe Mazzulla at that point was probably thinking how he can discreetly tell Brown never to trash talk Curry again because that trash talk made Curry play like a unanimous MVP again. Jaylen felt at this point that he had to finish what he started, but the problem was he was weak going left. Luckily for Brown, however, White was on fire that game, but the only problem was Curry was on fire too, and his fire was hotter. He wasn't about to let anyone humiliate him in his own house and get away with it. And Brown? Well, suddenly he was feeling small as he couldn't buy a bucket to save his life. I mean, soon in overtime, he tried to be him again and go for the emphatic finish, only to get stuffed at the rim and ending up on the wrong side of a highlight reel. Then, a few minutes later, on the game-winning basket, Curry went directly at Brown, ironically using his left hand, pump-faked him to get him in the air before laying in the basket. After he made the basket, he was heard saying, "I thought I was too small. I thought I was too small." Chris Paul was loving it. Jaylen Brown at that point knew he made a mistake. Drew Holiday knew Brown made a mistake. White knew it too. And if Tatum didn't know yet, he knew it after this shot. Night-night. What had started as a 12-point lead for the Celtics in the third quarter after Brown said Curry was too small turned into a 20-point explosion by the chef. What a turn of events, and it all started by giving Curry that extra motivation. I think I now also know why Curry was pointing and trash-talking Brown years ago. At the time, Jaylen said that he wasn't sure why Curry had done that, but he probably did something similar years ago. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why NBA players are still afraid to trash talk Steph Curry. I mean, if a superstar like Brown is going to have his rear end handed to him, what chance does a regular player have? SGA was smart to do it after the game, but Brown obviously didn't get the memo.